Okay, so you're going to half circle through the middle, trot in, and then halt on a straight line.
Canter out.
Yep. If she's jumping properly, she'll land in canter, and then you're going to trot, walk, and halt on a straight line after. Think about where your hands are. Look early to line up your track. Good. I'd like to see you stand still just another second next time before you walk her out of it, okay? And there, yank the reins back. We were working with this with Neo the other day. So she's getting a really bad habit where she's ripping the reins out of the rider's hands. It's completely not allowed. So if she does that to you, I want you to, you know how to grab them back really quickly and pull? Like if you grab the buckle like that and then get them right back. Exactly, right? And then she does, the reward is like this long instead of this long, okay? The other thing is when she goes to do that, if you can, just hold your reins and then give her a little sharp kick in the belly when she does it, right? So that it's like, what the kick in the belly does when she goes to do this is if you kick, she'll go and she'll lift her head back up, right? So then she doesn't get the reward as well. Of the whole idea is to try and take your reins so that you can't ask her to do the next thing. Okay, let's try it in again. I want your body to be a little quieter, right? So you were good here and you created more energy, which you needed. So you have the right amount of energy coming in so that you don't have to change anything, right? Then as she steps over the pole, you're just pressing your hands forward, keeping your hips bent, and closing your leg. Okay, so that happens between the pole and the jump that you slide into two climb. Hands carried. Halt straight, guard her with the left leg. Now stand still for a moment and then walk on, hold your reins, good for you. And then lengthen the reins, but don't let her take them from you, like just slowly lengthen. Good, and then she can have a long rein. Good. Okay, better. Funny that time she noticed something to spook out at the jump, and the time before she hadn't, right? It was the exact same jump this time, Liz. Okay, so you did a better job of keeping your position quiet, staying a little lower to the saddle, and even though she hesitated and then jumped, you stayed with her jump nicely there. Okay. So now we're going to come off the right, and you're going to do trotting in, jump, pull, pull, pull. All the pulls are bounces. Okay, so she should be cantering over all three pulls, and then I want you to turn to whichever lead she's on. Okay? What's that? Trotting in. Trotting in, cantering out, turning to whichever lead she lands on. And you'll just have to watch for those other riders. If there's not room to turn left, you may have to turn right. Hands up and even. Good, Ren. I just want to see your eyes a little more ahead of yourself through the turn. Okay, so that you're scanning where you're going next, right? Your eyes are ahead of where you are. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's do that again. You did the turn well, except I just want to see you planning ahead a bit more.
This is good hot chocolate.
Excellent. No water, all milk. A little bit of cinnamon. So getting ready to be straight and then turn to the lead you're on. Look. Good. Now we need to work on carrying your hands through the turn, okay? So trot a circle here. Then you can trot in off the left is fine. But again, when you turn to whichever lead she's on, I want to see your hands up, belly button height, directing her through the leg, through the rein. Hands up, belly button height. Much better. Okay, Ren, good. Good, and walk. Now we know with this horse that 95 times out of 100 she's going to land on the left lead. What's that? No. It's a pretty safe assumption with her, although over the past 2 to 3 weeks she has been landing on the right lead every so often, like jumping a jump and landing on the lead of travel. So that's been really good to see. Okay, so now we're going to add this jump here. So now it's jump, one stride over the pole, jump. So you're going to feel one stride of canter between your two jumps. Then you're going to land and jump over the pole. And then from here, so she's landed off the pole, I want you to count your strides and jump the fence at the end. Now the left turn, of course, is harder than the right turn just because of where this line is set. Let's plan to turn right. Even if she's on the wrong lead, you're going to plan to turn right and then work the lead change as needed. There's also a chance that she might be spooky, right? It's heading down into our windy corner. So you need to make sure you're glued in there, not going anywhere. Look to the right, land with your leg on, and make sure you're down and around her on landing. Okay? If for some reason she breaks to trot before the jump, trot to it. Trot to it with energy, right? Don't accept her quitting on you. Okay, praise her there. And walk and give her a pat. So how many strides did she get? Oh, dear, oh dear. Okay. And do you know which lead she landed on, and do you know which lead she turned on? Yep. Okay, so it's a little bit of a trick question because she actually landed on the left and then gave you a lead change immediately. Okay, so this is why I want to mention things like that when they happen, to start to develop your feel. Okay, so she jumped the jump, landed left, and then the first stride was on the right lead. That's how quick she was about her lead change. Okay? All right, you're going to come again and count your steps and turn right and tell me how many you did. So after the pole, it's land and then begin your count. She's pooping. Be ready with your leg. Okay, how many strides? 7 with an ugly last stride, yep. Yeah, so if you wanted to do 7 again, would you have to wait or would you have to go? You'd have to wait. Okay, and she did 7 the first time as well. This time she had a little more pace, so she got there that much closer to the jump. So then she did her patented leap into the air instead of squeezing the last stride in move. Okay, let's do that again one more time in 7. So now you know you've just got to wait a little bit for 7. Are you going to have a sit in it, Lori?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Does he just sit
It's sitting, yeah, that's really bizarre. Oh my. Okay, did you wait enough? No. Now, at what point did you realize that you hadn't waited enough?
Very end.
At the very end. Yeah. So that's something where, as you become more advanced, we call it the eye. Your eye is going to start to work farther and farther away from the jump. So that eventually you'll be like here, and you'll see 5 strides. And you'll just see it. You can see it in your mind, there they are. Or you'll even see 5 strides that you've got to wait for, or 5 strides that you've got to go for. Okay? With most sort of amateur, intermediate to advanced amateur riders, usually they can see the distance about 3 strides away. Sometimes only 2 strides away. So there, it's a little bit of a worry to me that you're not seeing it right to the end. Okay, so I want to make sure that you're counting, number 1, and counting in such a way, like if you've got 7 strides here, right, you need to be just past halfway on stride number 4, and then that should tell you, like about, I think I've got about 3 good strides left. If you're here and you've still got 3 strides left, your eye is going to start to tell you that's pretty short for 3 more strides, right? So then you need to think about how you're going to fit those last strides in. Because we know the 7 has gotten tight, you can also be a little ahead of the game by making her canter shorter here to give yourself more room by the time you get there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Did you feel the lead change? I thought you would have felt that one more because she bounced into it a little bit. So she landed and then lead changed. She banked early? Absolutely. I was just heading down there to put a cone up for you. A visual marker. So Ren, that time, I would say that your strides were matching. So what I mean by that is every stride was the same. Okay? So you landed, you actually had a bit of a quiet horse through the grid, right? She was kind of mellow through the grid. So you landed actually in just the right canter. Then you just kept a feel of it, right? You kept a little half halt all the way to your jump. And this is kind of where you start to think like, do you need to keep doing what you're doing, or do you need to soften your hand or squeeze your leg or whatever? And in that last case, you just had to keep doing what you were doing, right? You were already in the perfect canter to get there in the nice 7 strides. Okay. So as I make this one a jump, we've already known that the 7 is tight. I'm going to make it a challenge to you to still do 7, even though you're going to get a little bit of air time over this. The reason I want you to do 7 again, and we may go to 6 after that, the reason I want you to do 7 again is to make sure we can ride a disciplined turn after. Right, if we go forward in the 6, anytime you add speed, you tend to lose a little bit of precision. Okay? So we'll probably do the 6 after we do the 7 successfully, but that's the plan for this time, and it's going to be a little bit harder than the last time because now she's got air over this, right? So now your weight, 2, 3, 4, needs to be that much more. Okay, and it could be 2 inches every stride. That will make a huge difference by the time you get to your jump. So think of trotting in nice and quiet like you did the last time. And then being very on top of organizing and keeping your canter nice and small. Woo! Oh my. Ren, just walk a sec. I want to talk about what just happened there. So she had her bum to that horse, right? So what's going to happen if you pull on this rein? What's that? The bum's going to go more to that horse. Okay? So if anything, you needed to take this rein and leg yield her away. Do you know what I mean? Just have to be careful which way you're swinging your ship there. Okay? And you're going to learn that when you drive. When you drive a vehicle, right? It's not just about what the front of the car is doing, it's about where the back end is, right? And you see this with new drivers where they'll be looking for a parking spot or something and they'll get the front end organized and the back end of the car hits something, okay? So you kind of need to think about what's behind you too. Okay,
hey, your mom did that, didn't she? I just finished fixing the fender and she smashed it up.
Oh dear. Now everyone on YouTube's gonna know. All right, ready? Quiet trot in. You still need to have rhythm. You still need to have energy. Just want her quiet. And then 7 quiet strides after. The perkier she is, the more you need to work it. Wait, 2, 3, 4, wait, wait, wait. Good, look. Good, okay. So we missed our good lead change in the process of kind of thinking about that turn. Now we still need your legs and your reins and your body. Everything still needs to be riding the turn to help her organize and get ready for the lead change, right? Be careful when there's a marker there that you don't get fixated on the marker and then have to change your plan, right? You want the marker to just be part of your peripheral vision and you're planning and riding around it.
This is similar remember you told me about the similar helicopter where you like see a mountain, like a single mountain in a plane and they'll crash into it?
Yeah, if you focus, yeah.
Some type of syndrome.
There's a thing when you fly, there'll be one small building in a field and you're out of gas and you're doing emergency landing and you'll focus on that one tree or that one rock and you crash into it. It's just a fixation that happens.
Yeah.
So they're
that
always...
happens with riders jumping a lot. We talk about like a fixed focus on the jump.
Yeah.
Which usually ends up with the rider looking down, tipping their shoulder, and then the horse stops, and half the time the rider ends up eating the jump, right? We want to look at the jumps, but you want to look at them in a soft way, right? So that your focus, you're seeing the jump and you're seeing everything around the jump. And it makes a huge difference versus, like, it doesn't draw you in that way, right? Your brain is able to measure and all that stuff, but you don't lose your feel of what's underneath you. All right, ready? We'll do that again and then again. You're keeping that in your peripheral vision as you ride her past and around it. Okay, you got the 7 done quite well. Did you feel me counting a little bit? Wait, 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 right? Because it was coming up quite short. Better turn, Ren. Better turn. Good. Give her a pat. Okay, good. Now, was the 7 tight or forward? Pretty tight. And tight enough that she actually got crooked to help fit the last stride in, which is a typical way horses cope with feeling like there's not enough room between them and the jump, is they kind of get their body sideways, right? But what we want her to learn to do is to stay straight and rock back and like an accordion herself together and then jump, right? Because then if she's rocked back, then she's got these like springs and she can push, right? When the horse is crooked, they don't push very well. And that's where sometimes she'll give you a really awkward jump. So we still need the 7 to be done a little bit earlier. So we're gonna do it one more time with the 7. Make these first steps as short as you can make them. Good, much better, Ren. Look up and ahead. Love it, good. And I love there that when she got spooky, she never disturbed you, right? You kept your leg, you kept your contact. She kind of hopped up she kind of hopped because you were there, not going anywhere. And then she went, okay, I guess we're fine, right? And that's the thing, sometimes when the horses are spooking and then the riders get thrown around, then it scares the horses even more, right? Like, you're not with me, what's happening? Exactly. Okay, good. We're gonna move on to the 6 strides up the line now, with the same good turn. Okay, so these jumps don't need to be very big because the turn is hard, right? So what is going to be your thought when you land off the bounce? Okay, and what kind of pace do you want? Okay, so think of a more positive way of saying that, because mediocre has sort of negative connotations.
Medium canter.
Okay, yeah, good. So another way to say that would be a working canter, right? That's the canter that we tend to strive for most warm up, right? It's the canter we want to work out of for most situations. And that's kind of your middle gear, right? Then you've got working, you've got lengthened and shortened. Yeah. Okay. So working, lengthen, shorten, and we've done the shortened one. Now you're doing the working canter.
Not quite yet.
So partly what I was getting at here is when you did this the last time on landing, you were thinking wait, right? Now on landing, you need to think allow, 2, 3, 4, right? So it's not so structured. It's a little more loose, but still straight, right? Loose, but in control. So another way to think of that is directed, right? You're having a little more pace and you're directing it straight. Come on, Mama. She's looking so fit. Look at those tummy muscles, Blaze. Just doing the center line still, Lori. Okay, good for you. So she's testing your athletic ability. Okay, and you're meeting that test very nicely. Okay, she bounced and went left and went right and was long and all that stuff, and you didn't get tossed around. Good. In here, she was a little bit quiet, which meant that you had to go even a little more, right?
I don't think this is enough.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're going, oh boy, I'm long and I've got a tight turn coming up, right? Which is never a good feeling. So as we come again, we need to march up there a little more so that you get to the base. So you get to the base of that jump so that she can just jump over nice and round and you've still got her balanced for the turn. Did you feel when she was long how much that took away your straightness on your landing track? Right? Like she's like, I'm going! And she went way off to the inside, right? Which happens to us all the time as riders. And then all of a sudden your marker was like not so possible. Okay? All right, let's try again. So this time you're gonna march up to the base. As another thought, if you feel that she's wanting to go to the inside when she's jumping, you can open that outside rein, right? Just help her stay straighter in the air. Question, Patty?
I'm not sure exactly who gets first cut or second cut. It's not really, doesn't say it anywhere, so I don't know what to update on the stall door.
Oh, okay. Tony and Blaze are both getting first cut.
For dinner?
Just for dinner.
And they're getting...
And I think that is updated on the doors. Okay, come right away again. So we still need more horse to march up there in the 6.
I think it's on Tony's side.
No? Oh, okay.
I haven't checked the labels.
Okay. And then
And it's the normal stuff for...
yeah, it's the Timothy alfalfa for everybody else. Good. Good, you got it done. Got the job done. Now we've got a bigger canter to work with. Okay, Ren, walk a sec. So I know she's getting a little lit up, a little energized at the end where it's windy. But you had the right canter in the line and you're managing her on landing. Okay, good. Let her catch her breath for a second. We're going to change our exercise. Okay, Ren, so we're going to add now. You're going to do your first part of the grid the same, and then we're going to do the right hand bending line. So landing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strides straight. Okay, let's start with that. We're going to add bits and pieces to our course and then put it all together. So we can make each part very precise and then put it all together and see if we can keep that good control as the course gets longer. Oh, it's exciting, Blaze, isn't it? It was a dark and stormy night. All right. So, energy, the same kind of canter you had in your 6 strides. Now you're doing the bending 5. You've got to get her attention there, right? She's going to be assuming she's going straight. Energy. Come on, kid. Give her a tap. Good. Now back her up gently. Push her off your right leg. Yeah, leg yield over. Release. Good. Back up again. Good. Praise her there. Better. Good girl. Good girl. Let me just put one side down and then you're going to trot over it. Okay. Good. So just keep coming right around and right back over it again. You are good to go to your stick there. Looking, both legs on clear. And we're going to jump this 1,000 times until it's not exciting anymore. Look at your jump. Look up. Leg. Good. Good. One more time. Right, she jumped it well there, but then had a spook on landing. Stroke her neck here. You're fine. You're fine. Now she's got a job to do. Looking up. Good. And praise her there. Good, Ren. Okay, trot down the long side. Trot into the grid off the left, and then you're going to come right here again. Marching, attentive canter. Good for you. Good. Keep cantering. Come around and canter over it. Look at your jump. Look at your jump. Good. Sink in. Good. Go down the long side. Praise her as soon as she takes a breath. Easy. Easy. Good. Let's give her a second to catch her breath and have her heart slow down, and then we'll do that again. Right in the moment, we kind of need her to just cope and deal with it, and then she gets a break, and she gets to think about it, and then she can come again. So we don't want to escalate, but we also to reward, right? So it's kind of that fine line of like, okay, you've got to come do this, then you get a break. See, and she just blew her nose a bunch. So that's her kind of processing it, right? Like, okay, all right, I think I'm okay. Oh, poor woman. Okay, we're gonna do this again, and then we're gonna change the exercise so that we're not totally pushing all her buttons and causing too much stress, okay? But I'd like her to deal with putting this part and that part together again and get that a little more successful first. So come off the right. Shane, she's so fit, hey? Like she's not even breathing hard.
Yeah.
And after she just did all that exciting... Good. We're just going to the flower box jump there, Lori. Very good, Ren. Very good, and a nice lead change. Okay, let's walk and praise her. And then I'm going to change our grid so we can do it the other way. Okay, Ren. We're going to canter in off the left. Canter through the middle, jump your grid. So now it's bounce, one stride, jump. You're going to do a left-hand turn and go back to trot. And then I want you to trot over this jump and halt on a straight line. So we've just changed where we're jumping so we're not going down into the killer wind spot so much. Okay, but then this jump is a little spooky and different, so we're going to trot that the first time. Okay, Ren. No rooting, you rotten animal. Nope, you're cantering in and you're on the wrong direction so far. So I'd ask you to canter in off the left, coming this way. Okay, nope. So you're cantering into the grid, bounce to one stride. Okay, Ren, you're eliminated.
Brain fart.
Buzzer goes. Wrong jump. Okay, so maybe you may just not be able to hear me because of the wind. I said half circle through the middle, bounce to one stride, right? I didn't say anything about go down to the end and start with that jump. right? If I had, I would have said jump into the line, however many strides, right? So I said bounce to 1 stride. Okay, so you need to come in front of the flower jump. Good canter. Now look now, hands up, turn, turn, turn. You're eliminated again for not following directions. In front of the flower box. So you just lost the jump off, right? Because everyone else went in front and you took the long route. In front of the flower box is here. Okay, I don't want to be rude to you, but like, come on now, right? You have to be able to listen to the instructions and execute that plan, right? Or else you come out of the ring kicking yourself. Oh, I was 3 seconds slower than everyone else because I went around and I was supposed to go inside, right?
And there was Canada's chance for a gold medal, foiled by taking the long route.
I still haven't seen in the Beijing Olympics when some of them jumped over the decorative flowers as a shortcut. I want to see that still. I heard it, but I didn't ever.
There were some spooky looking jumps.
Love that. Good track. Lovely. Now trot and look for your jump. Stretch up, show her where to go. Good, Ren. Okay, give her a pat. And she handled the new spooky fence really well. Good.
Okay, Ren, you have to settle for a bronze instead of a gold, okay?
It's just one of those things where you want to really make sure that you listen to the directions and follow them, because it's such a simple mistake to make that you would just kick yourself for, right? And if you get used to practicing those, to executing the plan in practice, it's a lot easier when we go to a horse show and I say, okay, in your jump off, I want you to turn inside the flowers and jump this, right? And you'll make a mental picture of, okay, I need to be in front of that and turn here. And then you've got your plan to stick with, okay? So we're gonna start the same way, the half circle into the grid, bounce to 1 stride. Now you're gonna canter this one, and now you're gonna land straight and turn right inside the flowers, in front of the flowers. And then you're gonna come around and jump your grid 1 stride to bounce and turn left. Okay? So you're finishing your course coming up the grid this way with the left hand roll back towards the clock. Okay? Yeah. So you're starting the same way into the grid. You're cantering the next jump. Right hand roll back towards Patty. Back up through the grid, turning left. You got it? And this is something actually when I course walk that I'll do, is I'll course walk and I'll say, okay, 1AB, 2, 3, turning right, 4, 5AB, turning left. And then when I do it quickly in my head, right, I go 1AB, 3 right, 4, 5AB left. And so I tell my brain which way, 3 right, 5 left, right? So that when, because there's moments where you're on course and you're at jump 3 and you go right, right? And like you want to already have the message in your brain, then you just need to find it. Okay? They talk about that with people like learning self-defense or learning martial arts too. If you learn some techniques to defend yourself, they're saying when we're attacked, we tend to freeze, right? We go into like, I don't know what to do. But if you already have learned a technique or learned something to do, that information is in you, right? So then when you're panicked and you're in survival mode, you think, I'm gonna kick him in the shins, whatever it is, right? But you've got that message in there that's been put in there before you ever needed it. Poke him in the eyes, whatever it is, right? So that when I get to jump 3 and I freeze, I think, right, gotta go right. Hands up. We are. And then he's turning left under the clock. Good job, Ren. Okay, good. And she got pretty slick about those turns. Good. Okay, nice break for her. Okay, Ren, we're gonna do our course one more time. Just added the vertical. First of all, it's coming out of your grid. And the second time, of course, it's coming into your grid, jumping in. You need to really think about bringing your shoulders back in here to help her balance up for the bounce. Okay, little vertical is just a little bit bigger. Same course. Quiet. So just walk a sec, Ren. Good, overall really good. Through these tight turns, it's important that you're helping keep her organized, right? You can feel you're just on the edge of her slipping. And part of that is keeping your hands up, right? If you're kind of dragging her down, she's already leaning into the turn, it just makes that problem worse. So hands up, and then with your inside fingers, just ask her to bend. Inside leg presses her out for the turn. Okay, so if you can really use your bending aids to the turn, it's gonna help her like she's on a railroad track. It's gonna help her make the turn staying upright, right? Instead of her folding over like a motorcycle. Okay, and then it's much easier for them if they're balanced over 2 legs, right? It's much easier for them to make that turn than if she's getting heavy and leaning just onto her inside legs. Okay, good. Oh, I'm gonna make this a little oxer, but it's gonna be a little funky oxer, so she needs to have a look at it. Okay, so let her come this way and have a look at this. This is just a oxer, but it's gonna look a little funky to her. So look at it the way you're gonna jump it, because horses process things in their surroundings, right? So you might show it to her that way. When she sees it the other way with a different background, she's going to be surprised. Yeah, kind of like that. Isn't that funny, huh? Lizina, come here. Come. They're always happier once they see the human doesn't get eaten, right? The idea of like, no, you try the food first. Good investigating. Oh, yes, there we go. Okay, so now just do a little circle and walk her up to it again. I'm gonna leave, okay? So see if she can cope all by herself. Good, and when you get there, just give her some nice pats and scratches. Good girl. Okay, ready, same course again, really thinking about your bending aids, keeping her upright, keeping your hands up where you can ask her to bend. Okay, off we go, same course. The horses were out today, Lori, till about 2:30, and then it started to do this. So at least they got out, but so yucky out there. Hands wide, leg on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good job. Hands up through the turn. Remember to work that inside rein. That'll be important in this next turn. Quiet. Bending. Good, Ren. Okay, and trot and make a fuss over her. She was very, very good, coping with all kinds of excitement. Good girl. Yes. Oh, so brave. Look at her ears. Whoa. Little antennas going. Good girl. Awesome. So when you've jumped a lot of jumps like you have tonight, you need to trot for a couple minutes, stretch her, big circles or serpentines, and then walk. And you need to stretch too, probably. That's right. I wouldn't ask you to do it on a windy day like today. Did I tell you guys when I had a lesson with Gary? I think it was like my last lesson with Gary. He had me in 2-point touching my toes like this. And it's really hard to do that and not have your horse turn. And I was really worried that my horse was going to buck me off because I just hauled in for a lesson in the indoor he hadn't been in before. But it was quite a good test, actually. Very strange to be hanging off the side of your horse doing that.
So it's not about learning to manifest, it's about manifesting the idea, the design, the experience, the parallel reality that you prefer to manifest consciously, rather than allowing your reality to be attracted to you by your unconscious beliefs, by your fears, by your doubts, by your hesitations, by your belief in lack of self-worth, which has no place in the idea of a positive frame of reference. You are all worthy. If you weren't all worthy, believe me, you wouldn't exist. Because creation does not make mistakes. Thus, if you exist, you belong. There is a reason why creation is not complete without you. Stop arguing with creation about your worth. Take it at its word. If you exist, you deserve to exist. And if you deserve to exist, you deserve to be who you are as fully as you possibly can. This is just simple logic. Again, if you didn't deserve to be worthy, you wouldn't exist. For there would be no reason for your existence, and all that is would be complete without you. But if you're here, it knows that without you, it is not complete. So be in that vibration, live in that vibration, know that that vibration is your birthright. It's the right of you as a spirit, as a soul, as a being that is eternal and infinite. For you will always exist. You may change forms, but you will always exist. Because existence is the only quality that creation has on its fundamental level. That which exists can never become that which does not. Non-existence is a completely different idea, and all the things that will never exist already fill up non-existence, and there's no room in non-existence for the things that exist. One to the other. If you exist, that's your basic quality. You will always exist in some form.